everyone. Welcome to Floating City Podcast. I am here with Miss Antoinette Love Ransom, and she gracefully put some time aside to do this interview with me. I was just telling her before I started recording that I met her in person once, just in passing, and I'm like kind of starstruck talking to her because I've seen more of her content than I actually did see her in person. So yeah, thank you again, Miss Ransom, for coming out. So is that your first, middle, and last name, kind of?
It is. People think it's fake, but my real name is Antoinette Love Ransom.
Very cool. It is a very like Hollywood kind of name. I love it.
I know it's different, but I was born with that name. People are like, "Oh my God, that sounds staged." I'm like, "No, it's my real name."
It's really nice. Sweet. So we met in at the cafe that I work at. For people that don't know, I work at a cafe here in California called Regulars Wanted, and Miss Antoinette over here is like taking selfies and thing, and I like ran up, "Are you a food blogger?" And she was like, "No, I do. I'm marketing." And she told me like her whole thing, and she's like, "I really love my job," and that was like part of your like what you said to me, and I was like, that like ding stuck in my head. So I'm like, "What's your? Are you on Instagram? I feel like you got an Instagram." So we exchanged Instagram with your family, and then 2 kids, I believe. And,
Uh-huh. Yep.
and I was like, okay, so she's like online, and I saw all the stuff you're doing online, modeling, like high fashion looking stuff,
Uh-huh.
like doing endorsements for other businesses and stuff like that. I'm like, and she's a mom, and she's on it all the time. And I'm like, I gotta get this freaking lady on the podcast. So I was like, it was a shot in the dark for me. I didn't think because you're so busy, I didn't think that you would be able to do this. So that's why I'm
Aw.
extra grateful.
I'm always humble when people want to interview me. I'm always humble.
Oh, okay.
Always.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
So I
mean,
was flattered as well when you reached out and says, "Hey, I want to interview you for my podcast." I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure." I'm busy, but I wanted to make time for this. I did.
nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, from a third party kind of person looking in, you're a fascinating person for me. Me seeing all your content, I'm like, mom, model, like I said, high fashion stuff, endorsing other companies, going to Vegas,
Hmm.
modeling at the beach, doing all this stuff. And I'm like, what is going on? So yeah,
Right.
I want to get you on, interview you, because this podcast is about like interviewing people that like either are having artistic craft, are entrepreneurs, some kind of mix of both, and like have built kind of a career in it. And I just like breaking it down for people that
Hmm.
interested in that and like kind of what your drive is. So
Yeah.
how long have you been doing this for?
So let's see, 2000. I would say I started in 2016, far as brand influencing, promo modeling, and just being an influencer. I call myself a micro influencer because once I hit the mark of 500,000 followers, then I can call myself a full-fledged influencer like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm a micro influencer, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
my biggest thing is Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I don't really tweet. I know influencers that tweet a lot. I'm not big on Twitter. Are
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. See?
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Not yet. But that's what I'm working on now is to increase my following based on all the projects and the companies I've aligned myself with. Because my goal by 2021, the end, is to get me up to 1 million followers. So
Yes, let's
yes,
get you
that's
there.
yeah, that's my goal. And I'm strategically, I have a marketing plan. I have some big projects coming up, and I'm looking for sponsorship for these projects. But the sponsorship dollars would help me with my marketing to get me to that $1 million mark, yeah, or the million follower mark, to where I can make $1 million.
Yeah,
But once you reach 1 million followers, you can make anywhere from 25 to 50K a month just promoting products, right? If not more. Some celebrities are getting paid 100,000, $200,000 a post, right? So that's my ultimate goal because, like you said, I'm an entrepreneur, but I have bigger dreams than that. I want my own production company. I want to grow. I want to do films. I want to do this. I want to do that. But it takes money to do those things.
totally.
So, but what I was working on before the pandemic was a reality show. The OWN Network and BET offered to pick it up. OWN
Mhm.
Network I want to go with because that's Oprah related, right?
Love her.
So we shot 2 episodes right before the pandemic. Our last episode was March 10th, and then the producers told us we're going to be quarantined before the public knew. And I was like, no way, we're going to be quarantined? He says, yeah, we got to stop production. And they were right, because all the movie studios get heads up about things that the public don't get, including the quarantine, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So I don't know what happened to me, but I was like, okay, I was kind of depressed for a month because that was my big shot. I had my own reality show on Oprah's network. I was like, okay.
yeah.
I said, Antoinette, don't get depressed, don't get depressed. But you see me, I'm still out promoting products, keeping at it, because I feel like once the pandemic passed, I'll pick up where I left off, if not bigger, you know?
Yes, totally.
And I
Nice.
just did, I think you see my post, I just did Playboy. So I'll be
Yes.
in the January issue. Yeah, 2021. And at my age, it's unheard of, you know, because I'm 45, right? So people,
45.
yeah, women my age don't really do it.
Hell
But you
yes.
know,
Yes.
genetics,
Hell
genetics.
yeah.
I have to,
And hard work
God,
too, because you were working
yes,
out for a bit, right?
yep. I was
Eh,
working out. Yep,
with
toning
your
up
mask.
because you gotta,
I,
yes,
I saw the
yes.
whole thing. I was like,
Yeah.
boy, she's on it.
Yeah, and that's honestly that's why I'm looking for sponsors, because I have to do a promo tour for that. And if I get them up to 500,000 followers by May, then I'll be doing the next season of Dancing with the Stars. But my following has to be between 500K to a million to be on Dancing with the Stars, right?
Okay. On
So,
Instagram or in general?
yeah, on Instagram basically, because that's what the networks look at. They look at your Instagram, Twitter, and your Facebook. It's mostly Instagram, to be honest with you. That's what really writes paychecks for the influencers. So they had an influencer on Dancing with the Stars a season ago. So I'm like, I want to be the next one. And when I spoke to one of the producers and casting directors, she's like, Antoinette, get your following up to 500K, a million, and we'll put you on next season. So that's why I need sponsorship dollars to handle my marketing, my social media, and take
Yeah.
me over the top, because it's going to open up a whole plethora of doors for me that you can't even
Yeah.
imagine. Like my life can change literally overnight.
Totally.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. And what was the reality TV show about? If
It
you
it
could
was
talk
a
about it.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about. I can't tell you the title, but basically, when the producers met me, they were more interested in. They were following my Instagram like you were. When a casting director came across my page, and she says, "Have you ever thought about doing reality TV?" And I said, "No, not really." So the whole premise of the show, after I thought about it and I signed contracts and everything, the whole premise of the show was me turning micro influencer into talk show host, because my dream was to have my own talk show. So that's what you see on the reality show. You see me doing my promos, traveling, talking to people, taking selfies, and then you see me transitioning into a talk show host interviewing people.
Very cool.
Yeah, or actually interviewing celebrities, but that's what you see on the show. So that's what we were working on before, right when the pandemic started, and we had to kind of put things on hold indefinitely until they figure out what's
What's
going
gonna
to
happen?
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But that didn't stop you.
No, no, and I'm glad it didn't, because I was really discouraged a month after we were quarantined. I was like,
Mhm.
it's going month April. I was kind of discouraged. I said, Anthony, you can't sit there and be discouraged. You got to keep it going,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So I started getting on the phone with companies and small businesses and talking about their products and saying, what can I do to help you promote your products? Can you pay me this per post? I mean, I'd start collaborating, making calls just to hustle and get my name out there.
Wow. Yeah, I think when I first met you, it was before I even started this podcast. And I was just thinking, I want to build a social media following as well. And I'm like, right now is probably not the time. Then I see you coming into the store, you like lowering your mask, taking a selfie. I'm like, so there's people out here still doing stuff. And
Yes.
I mean, it really showed you have not stopped at all. So yeah, that's amazing. Wow. And my favorite, not guilty pleasure. It's been a pleasure of mine watching on the OWN network. Actually, Iyanla Van Zant,
Uh-huh.
Fix
Yeah.
My Life.
Yeah.
I love Fix My Life. I love it.
Oh, me too. Me
That
too.
is so cool that I'm like now connected to someone that's connected to that. I heard
Oh,
that
yeah.
everyone's at least the most five connections away to anyone, especially now with the internet. You're
Hmm.
like the most five connections away. So this is a good
Hmm.
kind of
And I've,
representation
I've
of that.
actually met her. She's really sweet, really sweet, very, very nurturing, very smart, she has a lot of wisdom. She wants
Yes,
to help. You could just feel that aura around her when you meet
yes.
her. Like she's amazing.
I have her audiobooks and everything. I freaking love Iyanla. Um, huge fan.
I know, I look at her like, "Man, I wish I had a mom like that."
Yeah, she's she's kind of like I think she took over the role energetically of people's moms,
Mhm,
especially on that show. I could get that could be a podcast in itself.
mhm. Yep, yep.
Um, so how was your interaction with Playboy?
It was, they found me on Instagram. Uh, the
Yeah.
casting director, she at first she emailed me, not emailed me, but she sent me a message. I didn't know if it was spam. You know how you get messages on Instagram and you're like, I don't know if that's a real person or a fake person,
Yeah.
right? So I didn't respond. And then she sent another message. She says, I'm the senior editor. Call me at this number in LA. And then I didn't respond. And then something told me one night to respond, right? So I
Mhm.
called her the next morning and then she wanted to talk to me. We spoke for like an hour or two. I didn't anticipate that. Like we were talking about everything. And lo and behold, she's like, I think you have the most beautiful face. That's what she told me. She's like, you have this most striking face that I get to see as photographing you and just making you stand out. I said, okay, well, I don't do nudes. You know, that was going through my head. But she says, I don't know if you know, but Playboy's not nude anymore. It's revealing. But since Hefner died, it's not fully nude. So girls can, if girls want to go nude, they could wear a swimsuit that's see-through or a dress that's see-through, but it's not, you know how it used to be, like
Mhm.
fully nude.
Yep,
No,
yep.
it's not like that anymore. And I did Playboy Australia. I didn't do Playboy United States. I did Australia. And the reason why I
Whoa.
did Australia because it's still big in Australia and still big in Spain, but they stopped printing Playboy United States in 4 months ago. Yeah, 4 months
Oh,
ago. Yeah, due to
wow.
the fact that the numbers declined because there's other competitive magazines, and plus Hugh Hefner died. So once Hugh Hefner died, it did something to the sales in the US. But ironically, it's still big in Australia and Spain. It's huge.
Whoa,
So
very cool.
yeah, so when she asked me, she says, unfortunately, it's the pandemic and I can't do a press tour over in Australia because they're quarantined right now, right?
Yep, yep.
So, but I told her, she says, can you do a press tour on the West Coast? So I said, if I can find a 50K sponsor, I'll do a press tour, which means I'll be interviewed by 15 news stations. And then whoever sponsors me, I'll be highlighting them every time I get interviewed, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I'm looking for, somebody with some pockets that really want some marketing exposure and increase their social media and increase their business.
Mhm.
That's why I need to partner with, you know?
Yes, totally. And
Yeah.
did you see your Instagram followers go up when you did Playboy?
Well, not yet. I will when the picture comes out in January.
In January, yes, 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 to
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So when it comes out in January, that's when you're gonna see me go from where am I at right now? Like 14,000 followers. You'll see me peak when that picture comes out.
Yes.
But what it's gonna take, honestly, as you know, with social media, it's gonna take somebody, a social media team to get me to 1 million followers. It's gonna take a complete team. Because that to get that, you have to have a complete team that knows how to hashtag, read stats, that has a big following already, that can cross promote with other big influencers, that has
Yeah.
celebrity contacts to get you up to those organic million followers. You need somebody like that, you
Yep,
know?
yep. Dang, I love it. This is like the first time I'm ever hearing someone that like is actively on social media trying to build it. So this I'm learning a
Yeah,
lot
because
myself.
you don't want to buy followers. I tried that once and I don't like it because you don't get the engagement.
At
And
all, yeah.
when you yeah, because right now companies pay me $300 to $400 per post, right? But if I was to get my following up to 100K, 200K, or 500K, then I'm getting paid 1,000, 2,000 per post. If I get up to 1 million, then I'm getting paid like anywhere from 10 to 20K per post. If I become a celebrity, then they're paying me $100,000 a post. So
Yeah.
I know friends of mine that are really big influencers that are living in Calabasas in these huge million dollar houses because they're making like 200K a month just
Mhm.
off of social media.
Endure,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I've seen it. It can happen. There's agencies just for influencers, and that's what I want to do because the more money I can make just on social media, I can have more time with my kids and travel and talk to people like you and have fun, you know?
Yes, totally,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Um, wow, yeah, that's it. And I mean, the more opportunities your kids will have as well,
Yes,
the more successful
yes.
you get.
Mhm.
Dang, have you ever always been this like kind of hustle mentality?
I have, even when I worked a regular 9 to 5, and I shouldn't say it was a regular 9 to 5 because I was in a director level position at a casino and I worked like 12, 14-hour shifts. But even when I worked for someone, I always had that hustle mentality. I was always doing something on the side. I call myself a serial entrepreneur because that's really what I am.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. And I know how to
Cool.
multitask. I definitely know how to multitask.
Nice. Yeah, and you're very, I mean, like I said, when you said, you were like saying what you said, but like the main thing you said was like, I love what I do. I'm like, dang, what is your contact information? I need more
Yeah.
people like this in my life. Someone, my video editor said that I'm good with attracting gifted people. So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, well, great. I'll take more gifted people in my life, like Antoinette. So were you in Tyra Banks?
Hmm. Yeah, I was. And this is another crazy story.
Yeah, yeah.
So I moved from Kansas City to Los Angeles in the year 2000, 2001, right before the terrorist attacks. I moved to Los Angeles, which was a crazy time, right? And I never been to the West Coast. I was a country girl. I still had that twang in my voice. And I was a choreographer. I was dancing. 2004, I was in a Britney Spears concert and I tore my ACL. I was a dancer and my knee rotated. And then next thing you know, I blacked out. I was in the hospital and then I was down for a year and I could no longer dance. So what I did was I reinvented myself, went back to school, got my degree, and I became a fashion designer. And my first job out of college was working for Tyra Banks for her talk show. And then Tyra Banks, at first she didn't like me because she gets intimidated by other cute girls. She didn't like me at first. She didn't like me, but she grew to love me. And then she had me bouncing all over the place because I'm a workaholic like her. It was nothing. I would see Tyra work 18, 20 hours a day. She'd go from the talk show set to her America's Next Top Model set in Los Angeles.
Ah,
And then sometimes she would even get on a plane after the America's Next Top Model and go do some appearance the next day and fly back to do her talk show early the next morning. Yeah.
wow,
So
cool.
when I would see her do that, I'm like, people just don't know this woman is a hustler. And that's kind of where I adapted my hustle was watching her multitask and do so many things. And that's why she's so successful. I said, I can do that because human beings, all we need to do is see one person do it and then we can do it, right? When
Yes.
I seen her do that, because I would never see anybody in Kansas City of that caliber do that. When I seen her in action on TV, I was like, oh my God, I could do that. I want my own talk show. So that's been my vision ever since I worked for her. I want my own talk show, but not really her style. I love
Mhm.
Oprah style.
Yes.
So I said, if I was going to have a talk show, there'd never be another Oprah. Let's get that clear. But I would do a talk show where we're in a house, everybody's coming over my place to chill, we're having drinks, we're eating food. People could just relax and open up. And that's what the reality show was. The reality show was being shot in a house where I'm chilling with celebrities, crashed out on the couch, just talking, chilling, and eating food. It wasn't like a live studio audience. And I think that's why the networks love the concept so much, was it was just uniquely different, you know?
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Dang. So is that just on hold or did they just put the project for like
It's and I talk to the producers all the time. They call me once a week or text me. It's just on hold, but they're still going to proceed. I think it's just
yeah.
going to be probably another 6 months to a year before we start taping again.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely buy the like the whole own network thing to watch that and Iyama.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that because I've always wanted to be attached to Oprah in some way, and then this is my shot. This is my
Yes.
shot.
This is
Yeah,
it. Oh my God, that is so
yeah.
freaking cool. Yeah, and the idea for that's kind of what I want for a podcast too. It's like I said, it's in my kitchen, so it's literally like I mean, we don't eat or anything before, but we just like before like we start talking, we sit down or we like just stand over here, talk a little bit, hang out, and like most of the people, two of the people I already knew, the other people I didn't know at all, kind of like this, where we kind of shortly talked and then we kind of talked. And I really like that relaxed conversational kind of interview.
Yes, me too.
Yes, much more relaxing, much rather than like, like scripted questions and all that before.
Hmm.
Like, I had an idea of what I was going to ask you, but I wanted to be very open. But so do you do, is it weird to ask about your husband? What is like? Is he very supportive in this? Like in your whole journey?
Daryl is supportive. He's just sometimes surprised that I just keep going during the pandemic. But he's but he is Daryl is I will say Daryl's very supportive. Like when I say I have to go to LA for a couple of days and do some promo for somebody, or I have to interview this celebrity, or I have to do this, he's very supportive. And he knows anything I do is always I'm making money doing it. I
Yeah.
don't do any I don't do anything for free. Like everything I do is a strategic move to make some money. So
Yes.
and he likes me more doing this than me working like a 9 to 5 job, where I'm
Mhm.
not happy, I'm not being creative, I'm not being myself. I'm just working there to make some good money, basically.
Totally.
And I always tell people, find your passion, even though it doesn't start out to be lucrative and pay you a lot of money, eventually it does. I'm living proof of that. I could tell you stories 10 times over. It pays off. It does. It really does.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, that's what this is starting off. I've got this is my sixth podcast, and
Okay.
it's definitely there right now. And I do photo shoots for free, and I do like landscape photography and some of my macro photography. I just post it. It's all nature based. It's very in the very beginning stages, though. You're I'm really learning that I do have to have like a plan for the year and a goal to hit. Because right now I'm kind of
Mhm.
winging it. So I'm learning from
Mhm.
you that there definitely has to be set goals that you
Mhm.
have to hit for
Yeah,
sure.
because I had to do that for myself. Because when I first moved to Los Angeles, I didn't have any set goals. I just knew I wanted to perform. But I wish I was as organized as I am now because, oh my God, I'd probably be to the roof right now, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Whoa. So you were first a dancer, a choreographer,
Mhm, mhm.
and you danced for Britney Spears?
I danced for a lot of people. I danced for, and this is like Hype Williams era, like P. Diddy, Mace, Lil Kim. I'm trying to think all the concerts I danced in. Britney Spears was my last, and that was my first concert I danced for her. I got the job from her choreographer at the time, Andre, who's
Hmm.
deceased now. I think he died of AIDS or something like that.
Hmm.
But he gave me my shot, you know, and that was supposed to be my big break dancing for Britney because Britney pays her dancers the best. It was Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, Janet Jackson, and then Paula Abdul. They're the top four that pay their, oh, and then Madonna. They're the top five performers, superstars that pay their dancers the best. Everybody else pays dancers nothing. And we dance
Whoa.
8 to 10 hours a day. We have a lot of wear and tear on our body. They don't care, you know? So, yeah, that was the last. Spears was the last one. I'm trying to think. I've danced for some other people, but they weren't as big as like Puff Daddy or he's P Diddy now. Mace, Lil
Hmm.
Kim, danced in a concert with Usher, Sam
Wow.
Salter. Yeah, it's like all over the place. I was all over the place in the early '90s and early 2000s before I tore the ACL on my knee. And then I had to reinvent myself. I said, "Oh
Wow.
my God, what am I going to do now?" And then that's when I figured out, hey, I was making my own dance gear when I was performing. I might as well get into fashion design. I just
Yeah.
didn't know how to sew or make patterns, so I had to go to school to learn that. And then
Yeah.
I was doing a lot while I was in school trying to get experience as a designer. I was interning a lot with a lot of celebrities. I was working the red carpets for Oscars and the Golden Globes and fitting people and taking measurements and sewing stuff backstage when something ripped. Like I was hustling, you know. Then
Damn.
I went from fashion design to stylist, from stylist to producer, from producer to running a casino, from running a casino to like actually have my own production company. And now I'm a micro influencer about to have her own reality show.
Love it. So many things.
I
I mean,
know. I
you're gonna
know.
be like 90, 100 years old, and you're gonna look back at your life, and there's gonna be like 20 other projects like identity
Uh-huh.
you've had after that. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, and see, I'm teaching my kids that you don't have to stick to one thing your whole life. Like I had parents and grandparents, they had the same job for 30, 40 years.
Hmm.
That to me, honestly, that's great, but that's not living. I think human beings are meant to experience and learn different things. We have to challenge ourselves because if you do the same job for 40, 50 years, what are you really doing? Are you really living or are you just waiting to die? You know?
Woo! That's true
You know?
though.
Think about it. Think about it. So when people say, Internet, you're creative, you're diverse, you've done this, you've done this. Yeah, but look at all these experiences I could share with my kids and help them because I can help them on so many levels.
Yes.
Whereas if I worked the same job for 20, 30 years, what would I have to reflect back on? What would I look back? I've been doing the same job for 30 years, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep. Just
So if it's not your own business, I don't think anybody should be working for anyone for 30, 40 years. I think you should have your own business if you're going to do that.
that's I mean, that's the truth though. That's seriously very true. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
you gotta be your own boss. You gotta be your own boss. That's the ticket to freedom, Alex, is be your own boss.
mm, okay, well, I'm learning here. I'm learning. That's amazing. Yeah, I grew up with people that like their parents were like butchers for 35 years.
Yeah,
I'm like, you
me
were a
too.
butcher for 35 years. You didn't leave your town. You went on like
I
Hawaii
know.
for a week. That's crazy. Yeah,
I
for me,
know.
I'm in the same way. Like when I was younger, I was really into, still am, into photography, fashion photography, portrait photography, and then now landscape, and then and I got really into nutrition, and then really now I'm like kind of like in a little exercise kick, and this I've always just dabbled in all of these things, and now I like conversational podcasting, kind of interviewing things. And
Hmm.
it's too like you said, life's too short to stick to. I mean, you could do it for a long time, but only doing that one thing forever and kind of letting everything else die on the vine. Humans are so
Hmm.
adaptable, and there's so much to us that to stick
Right.
to one thing, it's just not worth it in this life.
No, because you're not living. You're just
Yeah.
sustaining until you die. You're not living, right? And I used to get so heartbroken because my parents would work years and years for the same place, and they'd take maybe a vacation a year if they could afford it. Sometimes they couldn't afford it because they were raising a bunch of kids. But I would get look at them and be like, I don't want my life to be like that, where I gotta work for someone really hard and they gotta give me permission to go on a week's vacation. Like that's not living, right?
Mm-mm. You're
So
literally a
I had to
slave.
shift. Yeah, like 15 years ago, I had to shift the way I was thinking. I was like, okay, Antoinette, that's not the way to think. I know you've been taught that, but that's not the right way to think, right? So
Hmm.
that's what I'm teaching my kids. I'm teaching my kids how to be business owners very young. Like my 8-year-old, he's a model. He's been modeling since he was 6 months, and I save all his money and put it in a trust for him. So when he's 18, he has money, but
Hmm.
he's not going to go out and blow it. He's going to probably put that toward education or something like that, you
Or
know?
whatever you want. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm like that. I just don't want my kids to feel like they got to go to college, go work for someone, and then that's their life, you
Hmm.
know?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, like your podcast, you might blow up and be big. You might have your own radio show or reality show of you interviewing people through like I could see that for you. Like that's huge, you know?
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Well, damn. That could be amazing. Um,
Yeah.
and how do you balance? Do you balance like the mom, wife, entrepreneur life? How do you balance all of that?
And everyone always asks me that. They're like, Antoinette, when do you sleep? So I'm like this. I'm blessed because Alex, I don't know where I get my multitasking from, but I'm very strategic on how I spend my time. There's certain days where I'm just with my kids, and then there's days like Wednesday, Thursday when their dad's off work, and I'll just bombard myself with appointments, 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 or promotions or talking to this company. So I hit it hard on Wednesday, Thursdays when their dad's off work and I can take advantage of him watching them so I can kind of do my magic. And then sometimes I'll lock in big deals where a client might pay me 10, 25 grand. And you might see me in Los Angeles or Chicago, or you might see me promoting some product. They paid me big money to go travel and promote their product or something like that. But
Mhm.
that's what I do. And I like what I do because I have so much time with my kids versus me working a 9 to 5 or me being a director of a casino working 12-hour shifts. I would never have that time with my family ever,
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were in the cafe, you were with your family, but you were technically still working.
I
You're
was still working. Yeah.
I mean, that was so
Yeah.
cool. That was amazing. That's how you multitask it. That's crazy. That's really, really
Because
cool.
here was my idea about Julian because I that was my first time to Julian, but I so loved it, Alex. I loved the energy. I loved the cabin I stayed in. I loved having the view of the lake. Um, I just like the energy there. And I'm like, if I could, whatever happens with this pandemic, if I can go up there and meet the right people, I would love to highlight Julian, like actually have a camera crew come out there and create like a show focused on Julian. Of course, that would take a budget, maybe every single small business could chip in, but we would highlight Julian and I
Yeah.
would just expose Julian and raise like there's so many beautiful places I've seen over there. Like I didn't know they existed. Like I was like,
Yeah.
what? Like And where have I been, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Like businesses or like natural locations?
No, a combination of both, because I was just walking all over the place, checking out everything and driving everywhere. And I'm like, why is not somebody not down here like promoting this? Like highlighting different aspects of it, the gold mines, the cafes, the pies, the cabins, the nature. I mean, you don't see that. So
Mm-mm. And it's
that
like 1 hour away from the city.
yeah, so I didn't know who to talk to. I don't know who the city council is there. I don't know what their budget is. But I would literally, if they had a budget of 5K, I'd take me and my camera guy and the editing guy, and we go up there for a few days and we just highlight that place, edit it, make it look hot and fun, and make it like an attraction, like
Yeah.
people go there for an attraction. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what it takes. It just takes the right person exposing it, because so many people are like, you didn't post enough pictures from Julian. I'm like, yeah, I was with my family and I can only do so much. But if I went up there alone with a camera guy, I could do so much for those businesses and highlight them in so many ways. It'd be great, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an idea of that because I do live here. So, and I have a personal YouTube channel. So, and then also the podcast channel. And I was thinking of doing something like that. I mean, but yeah, I feel like because I don't have that many followers, it wouldn't go that far. But, I don't know. I'm still thinking
Hey,
about,
but you never know. It could, because people might see it and be like, wow, that's unique. I need to go there, you know?
yeah, yeah, that's true.
It could.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could, it's
YouTube
just that
and
one, you're just one video away from really making something go viral, you know?
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. And where was the last place you kind of traveled to outside of San Diego recently, other than
Let's
LA?
see. Vegas. Well, you see me in Vegas.
Yep, yep,
Vegas,
yep.
I signed a contract with Paris Casino.
Mhm.
But the problem is now Vegas is quarantined, so I can't go back to Vegas until probably another 3 or 4 weeks. But Paris Casino, they're going to pay me 4K a month just to promote them, for a week. I have to go to Vegas once a week, or actually 1 week out of the month, every month for the next 6 months and highlight them. So they're giving me a free suite. They're paying for my travel. They're paying me to post. So I have to post 5 days when I'm there every single day. So I'm gonna highlight their spas, their hotel suites, their restaurants, talk to a couple of guests that are walking around gambling, like make it really fun. And with the pandemic, I can bring Paris Casino to you through social media. So when I pitched it like that to the marketing director, she's like, oh my God, that's clever. And she just
Yes.
jumped on it. So right now I can't do anything because now they have they're quarantined in Vegas. They have like stay-at-home orders, but I'm hoping once that passes, we'll pick up where we left off when I was there a few weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, things slowed down, but I mean, there's always an opportunity. I'm learning even more with you. There's always an opportunity that'll show up or that you have to look for.
Yeah, because every day I wake up, Alex, you know what I do? I think, okay, what can I do today that I didn't do yesterday? And I always think of a way to make money, promote myself, or promote businesses, because small business really needs some attention right now. It's not big corporations, it's the smaller businesses that we're losing by the handfuls every day right now. So, and that's why I thought of Julie, and I'm like, if I could find the right person in Julie and they put together a budget collectively, we can do so much and highlight them. And I could pitch it to networks and get it aired somewhere, you know?
You're smart. Very smart. Very cool. Yeah, yeah. It's really about getting creative and so yeah. So is there a big, big, big goal driving you every day, or is this just like it's just in you? Just get up and do it every day.
You know what my big goal is? My big goal is a nice house for my boys. Right now, my boys share a room, and the cost of living in California is just hideous, right? So I know 600,000 in Kansas City would buy me a big, 10-bedroom mansion on 15 acres, right? But here, 600,000 won't do anything. It'll buy
Mhm.
you a little shack in the hood, right? So my ultimate goal, I don't know if you've seen this post on my Facebook page, but my dream house is having a nice oasis in the woods, a modern, pimped out house, like kind of like the house. Have you seen that movie Twilight?
Yes, yes, a while ago.
Yeah, yeah, kinda like the way they had their house in the woods, that really modern style house in the woods. That's like my dream home, and I wanna make sure my boys have these big pimped out master bedrooms and they can decorate it in with so that's my driving force every day, is a big house for my kids, someplace where they can call home. That's what wakes
Yeah.
me up every day, And
Yeah.
I'm close. I'm getting close. Baby steps.
Baby steps, yes. And so your next goal is 1 million followers by 2021?
By the end of 2021, I hope to get up to 500,000 by July, but I need to hire a marketing team. And believe it or not, I don't know if you know this, Alex, but there's agencies that you can pay them and they know how to organically increase your social media, like get you up like with followers, likes, comments, and everything. You know, I'm
Mm,
not talking about buying followers and likes like all these other wannabes do. I'm talking about getting you organic, real people, real clients that are commenting on your post. But it costs a lot of money to do that. Like it can cost anywhere from 10 to 15,000 a month. But the return on that, Alex, if I get up to 500K, companies are paying me more money and I can do more bigger projects on television because that's what it takes to get on television now. Way back when it was called an audition, right? Actors
mhm.
would audition for things. Oh no, the music industry, the entertainment industry is all based on your social media numbers. When you want a record deal now, what do? They go to your social media and they see how many followers you have before they give you a record deal. Believe it or not, they don't
Yep.
even care about talent. They don't even care about talent. They care about how many followers you have.
Mm, and how much engagement your followers are giving you.
Yes, and that's what it's come to in the industry. That's what it's come to. That's why you see me doing what I'm doing because I got to get up to a certain point so I can make the real money and get the real exposure. And it could pay
Yeah,
off for everyone. Whoever sponsored me, it'll pay off for them too.
totally. Wow.
Yeah.
So, do you have any more modeling gigs anytime soon?
Let's see.
Because I saw you did the makeup company, and I was like, damn, those are like
Yes.
legit, very
Yep.
amazingly beautifully done. It was really
hmm
nice.
And all these people find me on Instagram. Believe it or not, they just find me on Instagram. So I do have another shoot. It's coming up for the Westgate Hotel, and I'm
Mhm.
wearing like this big, like Victorian nightgown. It looks like it's weird, but it kind of goes along with my name. My name's very French and regal, so it's perfect. But they showed me the concept, what we're gonna do. I'm actually looking forward to that shoot. It's gonna be a very classy, sophisticated shoot. I'm actually looking. So that's right after Christmas. Yeah, that's right after
Mhm.
Christmas. Yeah.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, your name is very royal, very like
Yes.
Renaissance.
Yeah.
Antoinette. That's so cool. Yeah. So, and your reality show. Oh, so you live in San Diego, right?
I do. I
So
do.
living in San Diego, is that a good place for opportunity for like?
Well, not really, but I'm very creative and I go to LA a lot and network. And that's to be honest with you, all my opportunities come from me just being on Instagram and I'm driving to LA all the time and meeting all these people. Because San Diego's kind of full, it's not really a market here, it's full of wannabes that I found out. Like there's a lot of wannabes in San Diego. They want to be somebody.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
nobody that I know in San Diego is really going up to LA all the time like I am doing legit things. I mean, I don't know anybody. Everybody's always trying to keep it here in San Diego, but there's no market for it. San
yeah,
Diego's
yeah.
it's like a beach town. It's not like an entertainment town. It's more of a beach laid back kind of chill town.
Totally. And you're more
Yeah.
you're in the entertainment world.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, yeah, yeah, of course. Duh. Wow. And so going to LA, I'm just trying to figure out like what your secret is. Like, so you're going to LA all the time. You're and networking with people there, and then doing Instagram.
Like here's how example, Alex. Like I loved Regulars Wanted when I saw you there. I love that little place. If the owners were there, I would have pitched myself to them to see if they'd pay me $400 to post and promote them. And I'd probably even interview the owner,
Yeah.
whoever she is.
Yep.
Yeah. Do like a really short clip and do a separate post and interview her and highlight her. And then people start hashtagging and following her. That's what I would do for her if she was physically there that day when I met you. So I know how to pitch myself where people are like, well, yeah. So I don't know what what her specialty is at the cafe, like if she has like a signature dish or signature drink. But
Mhm.
if it's something unique you can't get in San Diego, that's what I would highlight. And then people would gravitate up there just for that, besides Julian pie, but
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
gravitating toward
okay.
whatever her specialty is. And that's what I do. And small businesses appreciate that. Like this one cookie company, I think you see me post for her, Maya's Cookies. Did you see that
Mhm.
post?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, I was holding the cookies up like this. I did that one post and that woman got 58 orders that day. That one,
Wow.
yeah, 58 orders. Because they were vegan, gluten-free cookies, and they are good. You can't even tell they're vegan cookies, they're so good, you know?
Yeah.
But I did that post, people private message me, the one, "Where's the woman located?" And at the time, the woman was just doing it out of her kitchen. Now she has a storefront. She just
Hmm.
opened up her storefront during a pandemic. So,
Wow.
yes,
The
yes, that's
power of
huge.
influencer marketing.
That's what I'm saying. Like once I was able to do that, then I hooked her up and I put her in a magazine here and introduced her to this person here. Look, she has her own storefront. So that's what I'm saying. It's all these small businesses need some type of exposure. They need influence. They need to partner with influencers. That's where it's at right now. That's the new advertising
Yeah.
is partnering up with a blogger or social media influencer, you know?
Yeah. And TV is for the entertainment. The advertising really comes from the social media.
It really does. That's why all these TV shows want these young girls that have huge followings or these reality shows that they want you to have a huge following before they even put you on the show because that helps. That helps with their ratings. That's what they're looking at right now is numbers.
Hmm. What was one of the biggest challenges you ran into in this journey of becoming a micro influencer to becoming a real influencer now in 2021?
I think the hard part was getting people to pay me per post because um, a lot of other influencers didn't know how to get paid and they were up to like 100, 200,000, and you had them doing stuff for free just for product. And I have to tell people, you got to know what you're worth. I'm not about to post somebody's product for free. Even if they pay me just $50 or 100 bucks, they're paying me something, right? I don't do anything for free. I used to, Alex, as an artist. And the thing about doing things for free is people always expect you to do it for free. They never respect you enough to pay you. So I don't do anything for free. They got to pay me. And now I get, since my following's increased, now I charge people $300 or $400 a post. And they pay it. They do, they pay it.
Yeah, and it works. It works. So the biggest thing is running into getting people to pay. But that, obviously comes with a little bit of confidence in you doing it for a bit. And how long
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
take for you to get your first paycheck from a business?
It took me because my Instagram following 2 years ago, I think I only had 600 followers. So it took me a year to get from 600 followers to 8,000. Took me about a year. And I was aggressively on it. Like I called Starbucks and Macy's, who I partnered with, and I told them, I'm dying to be a brand influencer for you. What do I need? I don't have a huge following. So they didn't want to pay me to be an influencer for them, but they gave me a ton of product and they allowed me to use their name to get other companies that I could work with that
Hmm.
will pay me. Soon as I partnered with Starbucks and Macy's, which they were the first two companies I promoted, if you go down on my Instagram page, you'll see it. Um, my following went from 600 to 4,000 in a month, and then 4,000 to 8,000 6 months later. Like it just organically increased. That's what
Whoa.
happened. Just because I was posting Starbucks Frappuccinos and taking a picture, and then posting some dress I wore from Macy's. That's all it took.
Wow. Very
Yeah,
cool. And
yeah.
did they give you a spotlight or something? Um,
So what happened was Macy's had a photographer come in and they took a picture of me in a dress and actually a dress and a suit and they put my picture up in the store, like the local Macy's. And then they started having me come in try on new product all the time. And they would just give me an outfit here and there. They didn't pay me, but they give me clothes.
yep.
Starbucks, they just said my following wasn't big enough yet, but they would give me gift cards and then they would give me whatever I wanted and a ton of coffee to drink for a photo shoot. But
Yeah.
I started doing that and I noticed, Alex, my numbers were just increasing, increasing, increasing. Because what they were doing at Starbucks and Macy's, they were also hashtagging me. Like they were tagging me and promoting me just as much as I was promoting them. So yeah, you get some of their followers coming to your page, so that worked out great. And then it got me up to 8,000. And then people started taking me seriously. They're like, okay, she has 8,000 followers. Then I started hitting mom and pop joints around San Diego and saying, hey, I'll promote your products. Here's my cost per post. So I went from charging $150 a post to now I charge for $300, $400 a post. Just depends who it is, you know?
Dang. Da-
And that's nothing compared to what my girls make, but that's something, right?
yeah,
Just to
yeah,
do a post.
but this is like for advice for anyone trying to do what you're doing is this is amazing advice. It's not going to
Uh-huh.
be you're not going to I mean, you can, but it's going to really be that hard work in the beginning of
It
getting
is.
it up there until you make
Mhm.
yourself legit and you build your own confidence.
Mhm.
So y'all
Yeah.
listening, make sure, put that hustle in. Don't give up. Keep putting it in.
Mhm.
Put yourself out there. Call companies. Talk to companies. Take the no's. Take the rejections, and
Mhm.
keep freaking doing it. Woo!
'Cause I know a young guy, he's 19, and he was asking me how to get paid. He has 100,000 followers, but Alex, I think he purchased them because his engagement under his post, he might have like 10 or 20 comments.
Mhm.
When you have organically 100,000 followers, you would have 3 to 4 or 500 comments under your post. Because this
Yep.
guy was posting great things. So I'm like, did you purchase your followers? Because if you did, you're not going to get that engagement that these companies like to see.
Yeah.
So although my following's not 100,000 like his, what they are most impressed is when I post something, people contact them. You know, it'll be like anywhere from 20 to 30 people contact them. And that's how they know my following's organic and I have the engagement there, you
Yeah.
know? And I tell these young girls it's better to have the engagement, that's how you're gonna make money, versus always buying the followers looking like you have a huge following, and then they look at your post, and then you have like 200 likes and 20 comments, but then you're supposed to have like 200,000 followers. The
Yeah.
numbers don't match, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah.
The engagement is most important. And then do you engage much with your followers?
Uh-huh.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's a huge thing
Yeah.
too.
Yep. Because that's what the
Mm.
companies like. The companies like when I post, my followers also follow them, you know? So if they're like at 1,000 followers or 2,000 followers for their restaurant or their store, it definitely helps to get that extra boost of 1,000, 2,000 people following you just off of a couple of posts that I did, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so do you do more marketing for like local San Diego and LA stuff, or do you also do like e-commerce stuff like from like with companies from like Texas or whatever that people buy stuff online?
Yeah. Yeah, I also had people contact me. There was one woman, she wanted me to promote her mask, and, she sent me the product. She sent me a ton of masks, like, I can't wear all these masks, and she sent me a paycheck, and she's paid me 300, and I just posted it, and she was happy, and then she said she got, like, 15 orders, people contact her and orders the mask, you know? So she was
Wow.
grateful because she got her $300 back that she paid me, right?
Yes.
And she got some new clients that are periodically order a mask from her because you know you have to order mask every so often. So she was grateful. You know, she's
Yeah, for
grateful.
sure. And
Mhm.
another message to business owners, use influencers and pay them well because it works.
Yes. Even if the restaurant or cafe, even if they just paid a influencer 150 bucks just to post, right? Just 150 bucks, right?
Hmm.
It's worth it because they're opening them up to a new audience, like audience that haven't been in their cafe or restaurant or tried their stuff. And it's the way you also talk about the food that I notice, like, when I'm in a cafe or restaurant and I wanna post it, I talk about how it tastes, and then people are
Hmm.
like, "Oh my god, I gotta try that. That looks
Hmm.
good. I gotta try that," you know?
Totally.
So, it's just that $150 can go a long way if you partner up with the right influencer. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, what a freaking journey. This is like, I mean, this is like a whole new world for me. Because I look at a lot of stuff online, like, I'm sure you know Gary Vee and like all these like
Mhm,
dudes that teach a lot about influencer marketing, but I've never met someone and talked to them through their
uh-huh.
specific journey through this whole thing.
Yeah, Gary
Yeah,
Vee, I listen to Gary Vee a lot. He's amazing, isn't he?
I love
And
him.
and he just flat out tells you like it is, no BS. He'll just
Hmm.
say, "Hey, this and this, you're not doing this, this and this. What are you doing? You're wasting your time." I mean, he'll just break it down to you, you know?
Yes,
And
totally.
I can appreciate that. That's why I look at his videos all the time. I'm like, "Wow, that was true." Yeah, I do that, you know?
Yes,
Like,
totally.
I get it.
Yeah. So, other than Gary Vee, who else is like a entrepreneur kind of a mentor, even from a distance of yours?
Let's see. God, there's a several of them. There's this girl, I don't know if you know who she is, but she has her hashtag is called Travel Critic.
Hmm.
She has like 12, 13,000 followers. She's not really a big influencer, but what I like is she's like you. She likes nature. So all her posts are revolving around nature, but she has Visa. I don't know how she got this contact, but the credit card company Visa gives her 15,000 a month, and she's an influencer that travels. And she travels to places that focus on nature or things people haven't seen in nature. That's all she does. Jumps on a
Wow.
plane, takes a picture, spends the night in a nice hotel that's paid for, jumps on a plane, goes somewhere else, and she gets paid by Visa 15,000 a month to do that. That's
Yeah,
something that I could see you doing.
yeah, dang. That is very cool. That just like opened my mind to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll definitely ask for her name again later. So I can write
Yeah,
it
but
down.
she inspires me, although she's not big as like Kim Kardashian with 196 million followers,
Yeah.
but she inspires me because she's so driven and creative the way she posts. And she just posts about things in nature, or she'll post food sometimes, but there's more being out in different countries, what she sees when she's in nature, riding a bike, taking a hike, what she's eating when she's out there, what she sees, what people are doing, like
Yeah.
it's amazing. I love her stuff. It's very inspiring.
Very cool. And yeah, do you know Lisa Nichols?
Lisa, that sounds so familiar. Lisa Nichols. Sounds familiar. Is she an influencer?
She's a public speaker, African American woman. She's on
Yes.
The Secret.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah.
Love her. She's one of my
Uh-huh.
favorite kind of like
Hmm.
influencer type. She doesn't. I don't. Never saw her do like a brand endorsement, but she is
Hmm.
amazing. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, she is.
Public speaking
She is.
kind of. Love her.
Yeah, there's a lot of public speakers I like. I like Les Brown. There's so many. I just can't just name one. Like there's so
Hmm.
many that inspire me to get up off the couch and do something. Greg
Yeah.
Reed, do you know who Greg Reed is?
Greg Reed. No.
He owns, it's called The Secret Knock. Look that up. He owns The Secret Knock.
The Secret
But
Knock.
yeah, The Secret Knock. It's like the Millionaires Club, but I like him. He's like Greg V. He just tells it like it is and gets you up off the couch and gets you motivated, you know?
Yes. The Secret Knock Club.
Yeah, Secret Knock. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
He's
Okay. Nice. Okay. I
yeah,
see him.
yeah, he's, oh my God, you gotta hear that guy speak. He is just amazing when you see him speak live. He just wants to make you get out of the chair like you can fly. He makes you feel
Yeah.
like you could fly, you
Would
know?
you ever do a public speaking gig in the future?
I will start, like, it's so funny because someone was suggesting that I do that because so many people always private message me and ask me, how do I do what I do? So I'm going to start as soon as I get my social media up to at least 100,000. I'm going to start doing public speaking. And I know this woman that says she can get me booked for speaking engagements at $25,000 a pop. So I'll probably end up doing that when I get over 100,000 followers, you know?
You are an inspiration. Seriously, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I can easily see you public speaking. You have a very well spoken. Definitely have the face for it. I mean, you
Oh,
are you. Yeah, I would easily see you do that. Yeah, I could. That's amazing. I see. I want to do public speaking in the future. I don't even have 400 followers yet, so I'm working there. But I didn't realize the true hustle it takes to climb up the follower ladder.
yes,
There's a
yes.
real. It's not just like
Hmm.
organic is not just like waiting and doing a really good post and just
Hmm.
waiting. You know,
That's true.
yeah,
That's true.
you got to really
It's a
put
lot. It's
yourself
a
out
lot. It's a lot of work. It is. It's a lot of work. Just when I started on Instagram, when I just had 600 followers, to me partnering with Macy's and Starbucks, and that took me to 8,000 in like a year, less than a year. I saw the power of brands. Starbucks is a brand that we all know. Macy's
there.
is a brand. I saw the power of partnering with a brand, and that's kind of what inspired me to be a brand influencer when I saw what I could do just with those two companies. I'm like, if I could do that with them, imagine if I could do this with some other companies and get
Yeah,
paid and promote and do big things. So it kind of just snowballed after that.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is amazing. So putting yourself out there. Yeah, this is gonna be, this is kind of gonna turn a new page in my world for me because this is a lot that I'm learning. I'm sure people listening to this, there's gonna be a lot of people that need to hear this as well because there's a lot because you're far ahead from the beginner stage,
Hmm.
but you can really pull people to where you're at right
Hmm.
now. So that's amazing.
Because Alex, what I did was when I had the idea of a talk show, this was 2 years ago, right? I hardly had any followers on social media. And I was talking to a few networks. I pitched the talk show idea, everybody turned me down. They're like, "You're not a celebrity, you're a nobody, you're not this, you're not that," you know. I said, "So what do I need to do to get my own talk show?" They says, "First of all, you need followers. Second of all, you need to know how to interview celebrities. Have you interviewed celebrities?" I said, "A couple here and there, but not on tape, you know." They says, "Well, that's the first thing you do." So I was sitting at home one night. I said, "What can I do to interview celebrities?" And I was like, "Oh my God, aha. I can hire publicists and interview them on the red carpet." And I challenged myself and I did that. I did it within 3 months. Got a publicist, paid him, a celebrity publicist, by the way, that's expensive. And
Mhm.
he got me on the red carpet. Next thing you know, you see me talking to Cedric the Entertainer, Shaquille O'Neal. You see me talking to everybody,
I saw
having
that
dinner,
on YouTube.
you know, having dinner, hanging out, interviewing on the red carpet. Like I, I did it, you know,
Yes.
and that's what kind of opened up the door to me having the reality show. Once they saw that I did that, they took me a little more seriously. I'm like, oh, she did this. Okay, now we're ready. You know?
Yes, totally by action.
Yeah.
Ooh, what? That is so freaking cool. Yeah, it really took that, but you have to. There's a lot of investing in time and some
Mhm.
money, and
Mhm.
it ain't gonna happen
Mhm.
overnight, y'all. It's not gonna be this like you're not gonna do a really cute post of you like just hanging out, and it's gonna. It could be a cool picture, but it's and it could get a lot of likes, but it's really to get that
Mhm.
real engagement, the real long-term followers. You
Yep.
gotta do it. Nice, very cool.
Yep. Yep.
Ah,
Exactly.
so, what is your advice coming towards the end of this podcast? I don't want to keep you too long, but what is your? Man, I feel like it's pretty obvious, but what is your advice to someone beginning this journey? For me, for example, what advice would you give
Mhm.
me? And I got for everyone listening, I got like 400 followers, not even actually not even 350 yet on Instagram. For me to start taking from now to where you're at, 15K. Where do I go? How
Mhm.
do I start that? What's your advice? A lag. Oh no. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Hello?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you.
Okay. Now I see you. Whoa, that was weirdly timed. Okay.
That's so funny.
Okay,
So,
we'll cut that out. So what would your advice be to someone like me, 400 not even 400 followers, most of it not even like almost no engagement, well, some engagement in my pictures. What would your advice be?
okay, well, see, the thing about you, you're in a cushy spot because you're in Juliet and you're surrounded by wineries,
Mm,
right? So if I were you and I lived there and I was close to all those wineries, I'd brainstorm, how can I go to this wine tasting and talk to the people that run this winery? How can I go to this winery and talk to them at this winery? And what I would focus on is their specialty. What do they specialize in? And I would interview them on a live podcast. That's what I would do. Have them sit down with you. You guys go through a wine tasting, cheese, grapes, whatever it is, and you're just very over the top and excited about trying their wine. And I'm telling you, if you do that, they'll hashtag you on their social media. Everybody will want to sit down and talk to you, and you'll get sponsors. They'll even sponsor you for like something small. They'll say, "Hey, can we sponsor you and keep you going on this podcast and become one of your main advertisers?" Where they're paying you 4 or 5 thousand a month, you know? And
okay.
you just yeah, and that's what you need to really take you to the next level. You need advertisers. And the way to start that is start small. I would start with the local businesses like around you, you
Mhm.
know? Even if you did an interview and just said, "Hey, jump on my podcast. I'm taking donations. Let's promote your business," or something like that. Because I had a friend that did that. She started her podcast doing that, and she got little sponsors here and there, small businesses that wrote her donation of like 2, 300, 400, 500, and then it just grew. And I told her, I said, "You need to think. We're in San Diego. You're doing a podcast. What is San Diego known for?" She's like, "Beach, Padres, and at the time, the Chargers, which are no longer here."
Mhm.
But when she focused on that niche, everything just shifted. Everything just got big for her, and then she got bigger advertisers that paid for the podcast and paid for camera crew and paid for her own space and everything. And that's what's going to happen to you. But you gotta, like me, you gotta crawl before you walk. So I would say start small, but you have so many great resources around you there. Oh my goodness. Like if I was there, I'd take over. So, but the thing is, you're close to those wineries. That's what I would be tackling right now is
Okay,
getting in with them right now, especially
winery.
during a pandemic. Yeah, yeah, this is the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
so pretty much for anyone watching, get creative from where you're at. Just think of
Mhm.
what's the most common thing or something that would
Mhm.
fit into your brand or what you're trying to get into. Or maybe not, it doesn't even have to necessarily be 100%. Like wine isn't, I don't really drink alcohol, so it wouldn't totally be my brand, but farms, agriculture, nature, that kind of stuff, it still fits in that kind of. And it's, like you said, you got to
Mhm.
crawl before you walk. So getting into that world. Okay.
But yeah, and Alex, let me say this really quick. And if you don't drink, you guys have so many farms around you. Like you guys have, I don't know, I've seen avocado trees, I've seen mooses, antelopes, pigs. I've seen all kind of things running around out there.
Yeah, yeah,
So you can even highlight that in a different aspect to draw people in, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because people love that. They love nature. That's
Totally.
why I was paying attention to your pictures on your page because you're always posting something in nature, which I love.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be the wineries. You guys have some awesome things there, like Julian Pies. You guys have the gold mine. You guys have so many awesome things that you can highlight. And so you guys have some great cabins there. Like you could
Airbnb.
set a
Yeah.
niche on that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you think there's Airbnb influencers? Well, people that
Hmm.
advertise that kind of stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. You're right.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Hmm. I have a friend that just does that influencing. She just focuses on different hot spots to stay at, and that
Yeah.
she does very well. That's kind of her niche, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're in Julian during the pandemic, but you guys have some awesome spots to stay. You guys have like bed and breakfast, some cool little cabins, some quaint little places, some nice little getaways that you could highlight and kind of bring that to people and draw them in, you know?
Uh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Sweet. Thank you so much. That's like
you're
I would
welcome.
literally pay money for that kind of advice. So thank you for that so much. Sweet.
You're welcome. This was fun.
This is totally fun. You're awesome. There's a reason why you're successful now and why you'll be successful in the future. You're very charismatic,
Aw.
super well spoken, amazing. I can't wait for you to start speaking publicly and even a book in the future, maybe. I don't know.
Yes,
I think
yes,
you've
yes.
got a lot amazing stuff coming up. So thank you again. And yeah, guys,
Hmm.
please subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of content. This
Okay.
conversation was all over the place. Follow Miss Antoinette. I'm gonna leave her information in the description box. And yeah, we'll see you in the next interview.
Nice.
And let's see.